whenever I started in 2005, I was contacted by some of the Texas sheriffs in Texas along the border, and they were concerned because they were dealing with a lot of these issues in Nuevo Laredo. So they were forming a coalition in Texas and asked if I would be a part of it because New Mexico and Texas join right in El Paso, and we have Sunland Park, and everything comes together there. So I did join and tried to work very closely with Sheriff Samaniego at the time from El Paso, going to Washington to testify on a number of the border issues and different concerns that the sheriffs had along the border. The same things that were happening in Texas we saw starting to form down here too, and we were concerned about that and trying to figure out ways to deal with those things. So I think the border issues have taxed the county for some time with the different health aspects and law enforcement aspects and everything else. Whenever somebody breaks into a house or commits a crime of some kind, law enforcement is the one that responds to that. And I think that the border issues have definitely increased that need for resources. So we have, since that time, created the Southwest Border Sheriffs Coalition, of which I am a member of the executive committee of that. And the border sheriffs from Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California meet together twice a year, and we focus on the different issues. I think when we started talking to each other, we all realized that the issues were the same. We were just, some of us were doing things a little differently, and we realized that the need to pull our resources together and our information together and that knowledge together would increase how we would respond to those things. The issue with the bullets coming across the border, I don't think is anything new. That's been happening in this community for a long time. I mean, I think it's new to us now at this time. But I mean, with the different things that have happened in history over the years, bullets have come across that border on numerous occasions. I think it's definitely something that law enforcement here needs to be concerned with, be prepared for, and how to deal with. One of the things the New Mexico sheriffs have done is we got together and we created a 5-county border sheriff coalition in New Mexico, had the MOU signed by the governor so that we are able to cross county lines with our resources and with our manpower to address any issue that comes up whenever it does come up. So during the current time we have Otero County, Doña Ana County, Luna County, Grant County, and Hidalgo County, and we've all been cross-deputized for each of those counties so that we can respond to issues as they do come up.
I know Sheriff Garrison's part of a lot of border safety issues. So am I on a national level. I'm a national trustee for the Fraternal Police, which has over 240,000 members. I represent the state of New Mexico. I'm also on a border safety committee, which consists of Florida, California, Arizona, Texas, and New Mexico. Now, we address these border issues all the time. The reason for this is because of the safety of officers, but also with safety of for the community itself. Now, what we need to approach this is on a national level with the federal agencies. That's where it comes from. We could also ask the governor's office, which I know a lot of legislators and lobbyists up there, to see what we can do to lobby for money to get more equipment down here. We also can look at getting services, even in National Guard. I know we're limited to very few compared to the rest of the states, but as a sheriff, that's what I would do. Mainly the federal. That's where it stands. That's where it needs to come from. And then we come in and ask for the state and, of course, the county itself. The monies are available there, my understanding, from the Border Safety Committee. I worked with Carlos Castañeda, who is the Border Safety Chairman down here in Doña Ana County. And he said that there's a lot of money out there available that we can use for resources, manpower, and equipment. Okay, that's where it starts. That's where we need to educate the county of Doña Ana County. What we need to do is, and I'll be honest with you, we have gangs throughout Doña Ana County. Our department has about 15 gang units that work with the state police. The Sheriff's Department doesn't have any. I don't know if it's because of lack of manpower or money, but that's one thing I would make sure that we work on as far as getting money from our grants to assist in this gang unit. They're very active. They're proactive, as a matter of fact. They go out there and the amount of information that the gang unit has is just unbelievable, and we can use that. We need to also focus on single home families that are troubled kids. Like I said, education is number one. We need to get a gang unit to go into schools. My plan is to get the gang unit started, work with other agencies, which is very important, and hit the schools, see what kind of programs we can, or assistance we can offer these broken up homes where gangs come out of.
The gangs have definitely been an issue in this community for quite some time. I've been in law enforcement about 26 years now in this community, and it's been an issue since I've started. I think one of the issues is that law enforcement can only do so much. We respond to calls for service, we respond to these things, and I believe we do our job quite well. I mean, the drive-by shootings and things like that, we recently changed the way the sheriff does business as far as really trying to lean more towards a community-related or community-oriented policing, and we broke our sheriff's department into the 4 substations in the county. We have a substation in Chaparral, and we have a substation in Hatch, in Cruces, and in Anthony. And we have since adjusted our manpower to address these substations, and we are leaving the officers in those areas so that they can better address the issues and concerns in each of the areas. You know, the issues dealing with these kids at the arrest area, our officers were on top of things. They had arrested them a number of times. I think we need to work with the judges in the courts. When we catch these guys and they are doing these things, and we bring them in, we put them in jail, we contact the juvenile probation officers, and they're released or turned loose to go do it again, then we have issues that need to be dealt with. I think that law enforcement cannot handle it alone. It has to be a community effort, and we have to have people, because there are so many of the broken homes and single parent dwellings where mom is working so hard to make ends meet, and there is no male relationship with people. I mean, but as law enforcement, I mean, we are answering calls, and I think there's a lot of people that are interested in trying to get involved in that. It just is difficult. It is very difficult, and the funds are limited. There are definitely grants out there that deal with the different issues, such as GREAT and the Gang Task Force and different things like that that we can work towards. I think that teaching in the schools with GREAT and DARE are 2 ways of getting involved with the kids at an early age. It's just going to take more people's part in the community to see the problem go away. I think definitely in this time it's definitely a trial in law enforcement right now to address the issues with all of the budget cuts and budget restraints that are going on. One of the things that we've done with our dealings with the federal government, we've increased our grant funding through Operation Stone Garden, which helps us address the different issues such as gangs, drugs, and border-related problems. To date, we've received several $1 million in funding to help with those issues and concerns. I think we have to maintain a certain manpower. The county has to make cuts in other places, and I think the county has addressed that on a number of times to make sure that we have the officers available. The hard part right now is that obtaining officers in this county has become difficult because the federal government is trying so hard to put Border Patrol agents and things like that on the border. It's taken away our resources locally to get the local officers, and so it's been a real struggle trying to fill those slots. I think that currently the Sheriff's Department, since I've been there, has obtained a little over $6 million worth of grant funding for resources, for equipment, for vehicles, and for manpower hours for overtime issues to deal with the things that have come up.
Money is tight. Money's tight, not only locally, but statewide and national, and I'm aware of that. The main source of the money that's coming into the Sheriff's Department is from state and federal funds, grants. And we just have to find somebody that is just aggressive to get out there and get the money. I know it's hard to get law enforcement or get people to go into law enforcement, and it's hard to retain these. I want to be aggressive on trying to do recruitment within the county itself. I need to pick out people that have roots here that will stay here. We also need to work with the labor. That's very important. What I mean by labor is the unions, association. It's very important. I don't want to happen what happened in El Paso, what's going on in El Paso. Being president of the association here in the city of Las Cruces, I represent 177 members. I am able to work with the city, and I have been able to work with the city. We know money is tight, and there's other ways of retaining and keeping officers through other type of programs. Type of wasn't me. We're not carrying away. Such as we can work out things where we, other incentives. That's what I'm trying to say. That we can do instead of ask for raises and stuff like that. The main thing is to retain and keep officers and recruit officers. With the economy today, we don't have a problem recruiting people now. The city of Las Cruces has received over 800 applications because of the economy. People are looking for retirement and benefits. I think it's an easy thing for me to sell to the people that want to come with the Sheriff's Department. Like I says, we have to keep hitting those federal grants, those state grants, to get the money in for, like Todd was saying, for equipment, vehicles, and such as stuff like that, and personnel. Also, I know we have a time limit, but my undersheriff is Frank Gonzalez. He is a supervisor with the Border Patrol. As far as obtaining, he was also a liaison for the Congress for 4 years. So I'm going to use his experience and his connections to help see if we can find more funding for the Diana County and the border issues. That's the main thing if it comes to border issues. And I meant to mention that earlier, that when it comes to border issues, border safety, and border funds, that's where his experience is going to come in to help us out.